Hello. Um, here's a new tune. I call it Jackson and Jockamo. It's named after two animals I know. Uh, uh, so I've been asked about how I arrive at an arrangement and also asked about what goes through my mind, goes through my hands when composing. Um, I'll try to address that a little bit in this video. So when I started this tune, I started out with the idea of the D major tune called Rachel. There's lots of versions of Rachel, um, but usually, I mean, the opening pattern is an arpeggio and a D chord and a G chord and an A chord. Then back to D. So I thought, well, let me just start this in A. But instead of going to E, I'll go to G. Ooh. And that just sounded ridiculous because then it would go to C and then F and then B flat and it would go through 12 different chords, constantly a fourth higher, and it just was silly. So I then thought, well, why don't I give 4 beats to the A and 2 beats to the D and 2 beats to the G. A little more musical. And then I thought, well, B minor would come next. That'd be nice. And I came up with this phrase. But when I followed that is, if I played that right after the previous phrase, it sounded disturbing to people I played it for. Oh, and then I go to the E chord. So I tried different ways. It still was disjointed. So I got rid of the G chord idea. Simplify. At which point I said to myself, why should I make it sound like Rachel? I'm not going to begin on the root. Why don't I play a pattern where I keep changing strings and I let the mandolin ring. This I liked. And then I had a problem, because if I go, it sounds like it's on an A chord. If I had an accompanying instrument, it would be clear that it's an E chord, it's the 5. So I tried playing a double stop there. When possible, that's a good idea. Now, before I go on to the next phrases, this part here was problematic. One thing I had in mind in coming up with those two phrases was to not play cliche phrases and to not just repeat the same old patterns that my hands can do on their own. So, I mean, it's a bit like, well, parts of Jingle Bells anyway. I don't want to start the video again. But my fingers weren't used to it. So I tried fingering it. One way was to bar the middle strings at fret 2. This would be here, but I found it hurt. So I'll have to go from here to there. It's a bit of an annoyance in the hand. Then I said, well, let me repeat. I needed bridge. Now, instead of just doing again, maybe I can use that G chord after all. So I thought, let's repeat this rhythm here. So I'm using this double stop, B and D, open strings, and this G double step, both G double step. And then, and instead of, again, oh, then I have the entire low part. Well, the next part has to be higher. I'm basing the form of this on the old fiddle tune formula, which is if the first part is on the lower strings and the second part of the tune is on the higher strings, or vice versa. So I thought the downbeat could be on the open E string, so let's walk up to it. Yeah. And I came upon this. Now, why am I doing this pull off? And look at the right hand. Down, down, up, down, up, pull, up, pull. Why? Well, I tried every other way, and this sounds the best.